Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever wanted to know what failure looks like, I want y'all to look on my screen right about there. And this is 4 examples of what failure looks like, especially when it comes to the loss of this baby's life. What I want to do is I want to give you guys a disclaimer before I start going in too much. I might have already did too much, but let me give you a disclaimer. Then we're going to go in. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And thank you for those who were supporting. Nonetheless, again, I'm getting this story from JS Online. Wait. This particular story is coming from people.com. My apologies, people.com. So we're going to do this story, and thank you so much for that article. I want you guys to take a look at these people on my screen. Oh, my Lord. One thing that bothers me more than anything is the obvious thing. When you see that these people are clearly, they eat well, a few of them are quite a bit overweight. The fact that you couldn't even squeeze them in a picture, you couldn't even squeeze their face in a picture, I think speaks volumes, like the volumes of neck meat and chest and arm and back fat that woman got and all of that type of good stuff, all of them ham hocks and brisket lumps and all that type of stuff. Look, I want y'all to hear what they did to a little kid. This baby by the name of Violet, and I love her name. Violet only lived to be 7 years old, and she died after swallowing the top of a baby bottle, which blocked her small intestine. And I have a theory on why I believe that she might have, if not accidentally, maybe even on purpose, might have swallowed that. My theory is because I believe that baby was probably hungry and was desperate at 7 years old. Desperate for sustenance. She died, which blocked her small intestine, according to an autopsy report from the Oklahoma Chief Medical Examiner's Office. Oklahoma, y'all taking yet another L, my old original home state. The girl's mother and 3 others have been charged in connection with this case. According to the autopsy released on November 17th, Violet Mitchell's cause of death was listed as a failure to thrive due to proximal small intestine obstruction by a foreign body. The medical examiner's office said it was not clear if the obstruction found in Violet's intestines was accidental or intentional. It's hard to know. Shortly after Violet's death, Mitchell's mother, Lisa, who was 31 years old, and her boyfriend, Anthony Yonko, Yonko, 37 years old, were arrested. They have since been charged with second-degree murder in connection with Violet's death. Also charged with second-degree murder are Yanko, or I say Yanko. We call him Yanko, I guess. Yonko's brother, David Yonko, 25 years old, and Mitchell's 25-year-old sister, Tiffany, according to the News Tribune. Now, why didn't they give her last name? Tiffany Mitchell. There you go. So we're going to give all their names. The autopsy also found that the girl weighed, at 7 years old, she weighed 29 pounds at 7 years old. And it does not take a baby expert nor a rocket scientist to know that that doesn't effing add up. 29 pounds, which means these fat SOBs, these MFers, starved her. And they all are responsible in some shape, form, or fashion. Yonko, Yonkers, what the hell ever. Starved a baby when you can clearly tell that these MFers ain't never missed a meal. She was essentially skin and bones and had a bacterial infection and abrasions on her cheek, shoulder, and left leg. I believe that baby probably tried to eat that piece of the bottle because she was starving. And that breaks my heart. Ooh. The case came to light on October the 2nd when Lisa Mitchell and Anthony Yanko, whatever, took the child to St. Anthony's Medical Center around 11:30 a.m. I know where that's at. There, hospital staff noticed the girl was underweight and had bruising, according to KOCO, which I think is Channel 4, citing an arrest affidavit. KOCO, I think, actually was also the station that did Doris Cole's interview, if I'm not mistaken, so shout out to them. The couple claimed that they had been feeding her soup and crackers thinking she had the flu. I think that's a lie. 29 pounds, that's a lie. The lie detector determined that's a lie. Right? A cousin later told police that Lisa Mitchell regularly abused the girl and would tie her legs to the crib using zip ties. A neighbor, a cousin. How did you know this? I want to know the age of the cousin. How did you know that and didn't call police the first moment you noticed that? Anyway, we'll come back to that. So, OKC police, y'all might not be done with this investigation, depending on the age of that person, that cousin that said that they saw this baby zip tied and let that ride, didn't say nothing, didn't report it. We'll come back to that. Regularly abused the girl. So that means you've been knowing. Anyway, a neighbor, Tara Day, told KFOR that 2 days before Violet's death, she fed the child chicken nuggets, mashed potatoes, and carrots. I took her because she was hungry, said Day. She looked malnourished. She didn't tell me anything about her parents, just that they loved her. That's all she said, and she cried, and I took her back home. Lisa Mitchell has a hearing scheduled for November the 27th, which is 7654, in about 4 days from now, depending on when you're watching this. So November 27th, 2024. David Yanko is scheduled to go to court on December the 5th, and Anthony Yanko has a hearing scheduled for January 22nd. A hearing scheduled for Tiffany Mitchell is scheduled for March the 10th. Attorneys for 4 defendants cannot be reached for comment. Again, if you guys suspect child abuse, super easy to reach out. Call the National Child Abuse Hotline, 800-4-CHILD, 422-4453, childhelp.org. All calls are free, confidential, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, available in more than 170 languages. See something, say something, or be held accountable. Let me give you guys the fair usage and we'll go from there. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. For those still watching right now, if y'all would, do me a favor and please leave a comment in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up. Share this video. I am tired of Oklahoma failing babies like this. But here we go. Only got 2 news videos.
Yeah, that's right. This may be very disturbing to some people. Family admitted in these court documents, this is an amended affidavit, that not only was the little girl starving, she was beaten frequently. She couldn't walk nor even feed herself. And in this newly released autopsy report, they also found she swallowed a baby bottle top, which ultimately led to her death. When 7-year-old Violet Mitchell died, neighbors laid flowers by the doorstep of her family's apartment, all while her mom, Lisa Mitchell, and her boyfriend, Anthony Yanko, sat in jail for child neglect and aggravated abuse charges.
The fact that she suffered and nobody was there to help her, it's just senseless.
Now, this autopsy report, exclusively obtained by KOCO, gives us a better idea of what exactly that little girl went through. The medical examiner wrote that when Violet's body came to them, she was in a hospital gown, wrapped in a blanket with sunken eyes, wearing a diaper that was otherwise sized for a 3-year-old. She weighed just 29 pounds. The cause of death deemed failure to thrive after finding the top of a baby bottle blocking her small intestines. Violet also had a bacteria infection and injuries to her cheek, shoulder, and left leg. This arrest report shows one of Violet's cousins told investigators Lisa beat her daughter often, mostly with a broomstick, and would tie her legs with zip ties to the crib. The cousin said she would untie her when she could and tried to dig glue out of the girl's mouth. Anthony's brother David and Lisa's sister Tiffany were both also arrested in connection, and now the charges for all of them are second-degree murder. DHS couldn't comment further on the case just yet, but sent us a statement saying, in part, this child's death is a profound tragedy, and we are grateful to our law enforcement and medical partners whose efforts will help us in the community better understand the circumstances surrounding her death. Yanko and Mitchell have other children who lived at the home, ages ranging from 4 to 9 years old. They're all now in state custody. All 4 have pled not guilty to the charges. Live in the newsroom, Chantal Navarro, KOCO 5 News.
And we just want to warn you before we get too far into this story that some of the details here are very graphic and are not easy to hear.
The little girl's parents have both been arrested, and now we're learning what allegedly happened to her before she was rushed to the hospital.
News 4's Dylan Brown is here with details on this, new details. Dylan.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. It's going to be hard to hear for some. So the parents already in jail. Now the child's aunt and uncle are also locked up. Police say they knew about the abuse. The details of what exactly happened to that 7-year-old come from their own daughter.
A Bible verse and a sign of hope at this Midwest City apartment.
Baby didn't deserve what she got.
Neighbors say it seemed like there was no hope, though, for 7-year-old Violet Mitchell, who lived there. In early August, she would be taken to the hospital by her parents, Anthony Yanko, Lisa Mitchell, dead, wrapped in a blanket, weighing only 25 pounds.
To a child, that's sad, that's disgusting.
The victim's aunt and uncle, David Yanko, Tiffany Mitchell, now also charged in the case. The arrest warrant says their daughter, the victim's cousin, was able to help police understand the horrors in the home they all often shared. She says for months, the parents tortured the girl, allegedly pouring hot food on Violet's arms and legs, gluing her mouth shut. The cousin would have to dig the glue out of her mouth. They reportedly hit her with a broom. The 7-year-old was kept in a crib for a long time, possibly a month. If Violet cried, she says they cursed at her and kept food from her. Sometimes the cousin would grab Violet and run out of the house so they would stop hitting her. Other accusations, they would tie Violet's arms and legs with strings, leave her in a crib in the home. The young girl told police she would untie her cousin, but would...
Do y'all hear this? Why should these people ever get a shot at getting out of prison? These should be 4 life sentences. That is torture, that is abuse, that is murder. They should never get a chance to be in society again. These people are messed up, and this type of thing just needs to be punished. You can't explain it. You can't excuse it. You can't diagnose it. It just needs to be punished. Period. These people need to be thrown away. These are 4 waste of human beings that don't ever need to see the light of day ever again. Oklahoma.
They would tie Violet's arms and legs with strings, leave her in a crib in the home. The young girl told police she would untie her cousin, but was scared and would tie her back up before everyone came back. This all while the cousin herself says she was abused.
Spend the rest of their life in jail.
Because why?
That's a baby, that's a child. They're helpless.
Tara Day lives near...
Now you heard what she said. She said exactly what I said. Let's hear it. I got to hear that again. Thank you, sister, for speaking the truth. I got to hear that again.
Cousin herself says she was abused.
Spend the rest of their life in jail.
Because why?
That's a baby, that's a child. They're helpless.
Tara Day lives nearby. She says she fed Violet 2 days before her death.
She just said she was hungry.
And would you end up feeding her?
Feeding her chicken, mashed potatoes, gravy, and green beans and corn.
Did
Did she tell you anything about the parents saying, hey, this is an issue, or this is
No, she said her parents loved her. And that's all she said. And she cried, and I took her back home. But I took her because she was hungry.
Did
and
she look like she was?
She was malnutrition.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, David Yonko, Tiffany Mitchell face neglect and aggravated abuse charges. All four are in jail right now, and all four had kids. Those kids are said to be in DHS custody.
So, again, with the neighbor, just my opinion. If you see something, you should have said something and called the police immediately. Feeding a girl is a great thing, but you should have also called the police and got them involved immediately because you know that's not normal, that's not right, and that baby needs help. She had no advocates, and it sucks that she lost her life like that. Violent young princess, R.I.P. All these people saw how huge these folks were, especially those two women, how big they was, and then how skinny this baby is. Anybody that saw that should have realized something's wrong. People that big can't stay that size without food. They had food. That means that they were intentionally not feeding this baby. Put two and two together. You just got a whole mess of a story here. So Oklahoma's got yet another horrible story, and I hope that they get this right on the sentencing and give them a life sentence like that black lady said. That's the correct thing to do. Get this baby some justice. Thank y'all for listening to the story with an open mind as well as an open heart. Thank you so much. Leave a comment and make this type of story go viral. Okay? Thank you.